Welcome you all. Myself is Karthikeyan, working as a faculty in the Department of Aerospace Engineering at B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. In this video, we are going to discuss about flow through convergent divergent passages and its performance under various back pressures like nozzles. We can say like a convergent divergent passages like a nozzle, CD nozzle. When you're talking about convergent divergent nozzle, automatically it come to the topic of compressible flow because we are dealing with subsonic and supersonic flow. When you are dealing with incompressible or subsonic flow, we will be comfortable with getting the solution based on Bernoulli's equation or other type of subsonic equations. When you're talking about compressible flow, then there is a question how I can able to analyze the physical parameters involved in the compressible flow. So physical parameter in the compressible flow can be evaluated based on the isentropic and adiabatic flow relation among with the adding of continuity equation. So these things will be helpful for finding the compressible flow physical parameter relations. Then next one, the flow based on the Mach numbers. It's a very familiar one. Just I am giving the recall. When you're talking about Mach number less than 0.3, it is called as incompressible flow, where density F8 are negligible. Then Mach number between 0.3 to 0.8, it's a subsonic flow. Automatically densities F8 are important, but no shock waves are appear. Still it is subsonic only. Then when you're talking about 0.8 to 1.2, it's a transonic flow where shock waves first appear, dividing subsonic and supersonic regions of the flow will be having. Then powered flight in the transonic region is difficulty because of the mixed characteristic of the flow field. So that is why it's called transonic. It explains the subsonic, sonic and supersonic condition. Sonic means Mach number equal to 1. So that is why it is very difficult to handle these situations. Next one, Mach number 1.2 to 3, it's a supersonic flow where shock waves are presented but there are no subsonic region. It's purely a supersonic region only. Then when you're talking about Mach number greater than 3, it is a hypersonic flow where shock waves and other flow changes are especially stronger compared to all other type of flows. Then here some idea about effect of Mach numbers on property changes with area changes on the duct flow. So it's very understandable one when you're talking about subsonic flow. So here you can see the geometry and subsonic flow and supersonic flow. So subsonic flow means Mach number less than 1, supersonic flow Mach number greater than 1. If this geometry will be like this, that means the variable area. Here the area getting increases, here area getting decreases. The divergence portion we can say, here the divergence, okay. Then automatically whenever area increases, when you're dealing with subsonic flow, velocity decrease, pressure increases. Okay, whenever area increases, automatically velocity decrease and pressure increase. It is exactly happen in the subsonic flow, so that is why it's called subsonic diffuser. Okay, the same conditions, the same flow condition, area decreases. When area decreases in subsonic flow, velocity increase and pressure decrease. So it is called subsonic nozzle. Then you are talking about supersonic flow. Okay, when you are talking about supersonic flow, for first condition, that means supersonic flow area increases, just opposite to the subsonic. Here velocity increase, pressure decrease. Here velocity increase, pressure decrease. That is why your rocket, okay, the satellite, while launching the satellite, the rocket will be, the output shape will be like this. That is the reason, because when you're talking about supersonic flow, velocity increases, we need the high velocity. So this is called supersonic nozzle. Then here the same supersonic flow, but area decreases automatically based on the flow condition. Here velocity decreases, pressure increases. So this is called supersonic diffuser. Okay, so how I can able to understand all those things? The behavior changes with the help of you can able to understand by the below equation. So this is the equation relating with the area, velocity and Mach number. Okay, this is one of the famous equation. Now we can move on to the our topic exactly. Convergent divergent nozzle. First we will look about the convergent nozzle, then we go for the convergent divergent nozzle. So here you can see the three figures. So just to understand the meaning of the figure, the first one will be geometry of the nozzle, the second will be pressure distribution of particular geometry based on the various back pressure, then third one will be mass flow versus back pressure. Okay, these are the three things will be available. So geometry and pressure distribution based on the back pressure, then mass flow versus back pressure. So you have to first look at the parameter. Here you are saying that stagnation pressure P naught, okay, then this is called exit pressure PE, and this one is called back pressure BP. So back pressure nothing but just to pressure outside of your particular element. Okay, that is called as a back pressure. That's a outside pressure. Then the P star, another one more new term. The P star nothing but the critical pressure. The critical pressure exactly based on the critical Mach number. So the critical Mach number nothing but when the Mach number reaches equal to 1, Mach number equal to 1. So that is a critical Mach number. So that is called as a sonic condition. Okay. So for the particular Mach number, what is the value of the pressure? So that is called as a critical pressure. Okay. For the flow parameter reaches the Mach number 1, so that is a critical Mach number. So when when the flow reaches the critical Mach number, the corresponding parameters called as a critical pressure, critical temperature, critical density, like that. So here we are dealing only with the critical pressure. So these are things we have to remember, and here we are talking only about convergent nozzle. Okay, so that is why the output we are looking only for the exactly what is happening when you leave from the throat. So here you can able to say throat or you say exit. Okay, so we are looking only for the process happening in the exit condition. Okay, so the based on the back pressure, so we are going to take the ratio between back pressure and the stagnation pressure. Based on these ratio only we are getting this type of pressure distribution. Okay, so ratio between the back pressure and the stagnation pressure. We are experiencing some of the flow will be subsonic condition and some of the flow will be supersonic condition. That means the exit we are getting subsonic, similarly supersonic. So the exit coming from the particular location, we can say like a nozzle here. Okay, so that is called as a jet. So whenever the flow coming out of this particular portion is called as a jet. So this is called a jet boundary. So upper boundary and lower boundary. So here also we can see after the exit only they are saying that subsonic jet output, similarly supersonic jet output. Okay, so these are the things we have to know before dealing with the explanation. So we are going to discuss the graph based on the three cases. The first cases we are going to consider AB, that's the first case. Letter AB will be the first case. Second case purely C, and third case will be D and E. So each and every cases what is happening and how it is getting the graph like this we are going to discuss one by one. And the bottom diagram we can see mass flow rate. So when your back pressure decreases, the mass flow rate also gradually you can see like somewhat decreases. Okay, so when the back pressure decreases, your mass flow rate getting exactly increases up to the point C. So here this is the back pressure with the stagnation pressure ratio, that is exactly 1. So back pressure and the stagnation pressure ratio getting decreases. It getting decreases, that is x value, the x-axis getting decreases, mass flow gradually increases. So up to the particular reason. So that is point number C. Okay, so this is regarding the mass flow relation. So we'll see one by one how it is happening. The first condition, we are going to gradually decrease the back pressure BP. So back pressure gradually decrease, then automatically in these cases your critical pressure higher than the back pressure. The first case AB, we are dealing with AB. Here the back pressure is reduced but the same time your critical pressure is higher than the back pressure. So that will be helpful to make your throat will be greater than the throat pressure. So exactly it is the throughout the flow will be subsonic. So throughout the flow will be subsonic. That is the first case. Then second case, your back pressure exactly equal to critical pressure. The previous case, critical pressure higher than the back pressure. Now in these cases, your back pressure exactly equal to the critical pressure of the throat sonic. Now the point number C, it is exactly reaching of your sonic condition. So here the reaching of sonic condition, that is point number C. So you can compare here, when your point number C reaches, automatically the mass flow will be reaching high. Here you can able to see the maximum mass flow rate. So maximum mass flow rate coming out of the exit. Okay, this is a maximum mass flow rate will be reaching here. So this is a second point here. So here also your back pressure equal to exit pressure, but in these cases the flow will be exactly supersonic. So supersonic condition is reached, so the flow will be exactly and the throat portion will be exactly sonic. After that exactly exit will be the supersonic condition. So that is the second case, that is your back pressure equal to critical pressure of the throat sonic, then mass flow reaches the maximum mass flow. Then you are coming for the third case. The third case, your back pressure less than the critical pressure. The third case means we are dealing with the D and E. We are dealing with the D and E. Your back pressure exactly less than the critical pressure. Okay, but here the nozzle cannot be respond much because already the nozzle, based on the nozzle is a throat condition, the sonic condition is reached. So here itself we can able to see the maximum mass flow will be reached already. So even though you are reducing your third case, that is a back pressure less than the critical pressure, the nozzle may not be respond much because already this reached the maximum mass flow rate. So we cannot expect much response. Then automatically your pressure distribution exactly same as your C, exactly same as your C, like C, but the flow will be in the supersonic condition. The flow will be in the supersonic condition. So the fluctuation will be happen because of that it try to meet your exit pressure equal to your back pressure, but back pressure is less than critical pressure. To maintain that equal point, it try to make some fluctuation. So that is why you can see the fluctuation are happening in the point number D and E. So these are things will be happen for your convergent nozzle for the back pressure F8. So back pressure F8, the first one purely subsonic output, the second one is supersonic output, and third one is supersonic with various pressure distribution. So that is happening for your cases. So what are the point we discuss here? Just I made it a tabular column. Okay, so you can pause this video and you can read it. You will get clear idea because it's somewhat more concept oriented topic. Okay, so you have to read 1 or 2 times, then you will be get a clear idea. Then this is for a second point. Okay, so just pause the video and read it, you will get idea. Now we move on to another topic, that convergent divergent nozzle. The convergent divergent nozzle is a combination of convergent portion as well as divergent portion. Here you can exactly see the throat condition. The remaining parameter will be same as your previous case, that is stagnation pressure, exit pressure, back pressure and critical pressure, and here the throat will be available, we can say throat condition. The previously throat may not be see exactly, but we are taking as a exit condition, throat condition is closely nearby each other, but in this condition we can say the throat condition exactly available. So here also, what is our ultimate aim? Why should I know the convergent divergent nozzle performance based on the various back pressure? Suppose I want to design the nozzle, okay, that is CD nozzle. my ultimate aim is I'm looking for the smooth supersonic flow. So creating a smooth supersonic flow is somewhat difficulty because the supersonic flow reaches only after Mach number 1. So we know very well when Mach number reaches 1, there is a possibility of framing of or forming of your normal shocks. Shocks will be formed. Okay, so it is very difficulty to understand the concept of the shock. The same way we need to create the flow without any shocks. If suppose if shocks presented in the outlet, then automatically we cannot get the exact performance of the flow. So our ultimate aim is we need a supersonic flow but without shocks. So for that purpose only we are designing convergent divergent nozzle. So how we can able to achieve this particular point? With the help of the pressure ratio. So what is the pressure ratio, or what are the pressure ratio? We are looking for back pressure and your stagnation pressure. So to maintain properly back pressure and stagnation pressure, we can able to create a proper supersonic flow. You can see here this pressure distribution curve. We are looking for curve exactly type of H curve. The H curve we can see exactly supersonic curve. Okay, so we are always looking for this particular type of curve only. We don't want the curve like E, F, G or even I also, because all those things create the problems. So we are looking for the curve exactly based on the H type of curve. Okay, H curve only we are looking. So when you are making a manufacturing of your nozzle, we cannot make so many number of original items. So we cannot waste money, we cannot wasting of our raw materials also. So what we can do, we can do some analysis, some simulation. There we can able to get some chances to vary the back pressure. That back pressure related to area ratio. So we can able to connect the pressure ratio and the area ratio. Then we can say at what back pressure ratio condition I am getting that particular supersonic flow, that will be exactly matching with your area ratio. So what is the area ratio I am getting for the particular condition? Then based on that only I had to design my nozzle. So that is why we are doing this type of the analysis. So our ultimate aim is we are looking for the supersonic flow as a outlet, but without any shocks. So how we are going to achieve that? It achieved based on the pressure ratio. Then pressure ratio achieved for the particular condition. Then we can say that will be exactly area ratio for the particular CD nozzle. Okay, so that is why it's look like a reverse engineering. Okay, so we are here we are having the curve here for a theoretical explanation. I'm trying to explain you how we can able to link your pressure values, area values and to supersonic flow. Okay, so I hope I tried to explain myself maximum level. So now you can able to see the content of this particular picture. So for the first case, I can take an example of curve A and B. When I'm taking the curve A and B, so automatically we can say like totally subsonic flow region, because still your back pressure is very less. That back pressure value may not be sufficient to maintain the throat as a sonic condition. So we are reducing back pressure somewhat lower, but still that back pressure lower is not sufficient to maintain the throat as a sonic condition. So that is why, like your previous case, that is why the total flow will be a subsonic only. So in these cases, pressure distribution I can able to find out by using of subsonic isentropic area change relation. So by using of that equation, I can able to find out pressure distribution. Now I move on to curve C. In that curve C, so how this curve is achieved, it based on your condition, that is your area ratio AE by AT, that is area ratio, exit area divided by throat area, such a way that it's almost equal to we maintain exit area to critical area ratio. So we maintain the critical area ratio and the exit area ratio because that is a Mach number 1. So that such a way that you are maintaining area ratio to exit area ratio to throat area ratio. So for that condition, we can able to get throat at a sonic point, but still the flow will be subsonic, but only throat will be the sonic condition. Okay, here you can say my exit pressure equal to back pressure. Then our next condition, the H condition. So in this H condition, we can say like your back pressure, the ratio, back pressure ratio divided by stagnation pressure. Now it is almost equal to reaching of your area ratio, that is your AE by A star. So this is the ratio we are looking for when you are changing the back pressure gradually. When it is reaches the value exactly match with your the correct area ratio AE by A star. So that is the pressure we are reaching right now. So for the this particular nozzle diagram, so this back pressure divided by stagnation pressure ratio will be exactly suitable based on the area condition. So here you can able to get a smooth outlet, that means a supersonic flow. It's a supersonic flow. Here your exit pressure equal to back pressure only, but back pressure is full of supersonic. That is why you are getting this type of the smooth flow. So this is called your descent pressure ratio. So this pressure ratio, you are getting the ratio back pressure to stagnation pressure BP by P naught. So that pressure ratio only we are looking for to design the nozzle. So that is why that pressure ratio is called as descent pressure ratio. So your ultimate aim is to looking for the descent pressure ratio all the time. So once you reach the descent pressure ratio, then for the corresponding area you can able to design for the particular nozzle. Then next point we are talking about other things like graph DEFG. Okay, graph DEFG. When you're talking about graph DEFG, okay, theoretically this type of back pressure is not possible based on the equation. Okay, so what will happen to get back the particular back pressure condition? Okay, to get back the particular back pressure condition, okay, your output of your nozzle, especially for shock nozzle, is automatically locate the normal shocks. So the purpose of locating of normal shock to bring the back pressure to the particular condition. That means what we got in the H curve. So automatically this particular supersonic flow reached by the back pressure condition, that condition will be expected from the previous cases like C, D, E, F, G. So for placing of normal shock, we'll be providing getting the chances of that PB value. That is why we are placing the normal shock so many places. Exactly you can see that F curve, we need to locate the normal shock, a single normal shock exactly on the exit condition to get your the same BP, that is same as like your H condition. But you are talking about G. So in the case of G, a single normal shock is not sufficient to get the particular H near the H value to get the flow. So the number of oblique shocks are formed. So the number of oblique shocks are formed to get the particular condition. Then when you're talking about I, it's purely based on the supersonic wave, number of waves presented in the supersonic flow condition. So above the H, all the curves comes under subsonic flow, and after the H is comes under supersonic flow. So that is why here the supersonic region, here the subsonic region. Even though subsonic region we are getting the shocks. The reason is when you are talking about Mach number greater than 1 supersonic flow, there is a formation of normal shock. That is what we discussed in the first slide. Okay, so based on the area and based on the flow, the formation of shocks will be appear. Okay, here you can see the descent pressure ratio. You can see the curve, the ratio between back pressure to stagnation pressure. So initially both are same, then we are gradually decreasing. So this particular point is called as a decision pressure ratio. So that is, you can see H, point number H. So point number H exactly getting the supersonic flow without any formation of the shocks. Then if the shocks are formed in the subsonic region, that is above H condition, what will happen? It because of the adverse pressure gradient. So once the adverse pressure gradients created, then the boundary layer, wall boundary layer separation will be happen. So that wall boundary layer separation, it gives more impact on the shocks. That is also not good one. So we have to keep in mind while designing the nozzle, especially for a convergent divergent nozzle, we are looking only for the exactly what we got in the H value for the particular back pressure. So once you are getting the back pressure for the particular H curve, then it is very suitable for this particular design convergent divergent nozzle to make your supersonic wind tunnel or any your rocket engines. So that will be very suitable condition. So you have to looking only for the curve which is exactly match with the letter H. Okay, so this is the explanation related to this particular convergent divergent nozzle. Like your previous case, another 1 or 2 slide I will be given the detail about all the theories. Okay, so you pause the videos and read it carefully, then only you get clear idea, because the concept related to here somewhat difficulty. So without having the blackboard or other things explaining the concept is some difficulty for the teacher, and you can able to get the whole things from the reference book. So these are my reference book. What are the pictures and some of the technical sentence I am showing here, it is available in the Fluid Mechanics by White. Some of the topic, some of the points are taken from the Modern Compressible Flow by Anderson and Fundamentals of Aerodynamics by Anderson. So this video is mainly suitable for beginners, those who are trying to learn about the convergent divergent nozzle. But those who are already well known about this topic or researchers, it may not be suitable. They may take it as some quick reference. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. So once again, thank you.